What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a market update, but this time it's a little bit different. And if you guys remember from my live stream, you know that Chris W. over at Rogue 5 Toys on Facebook picked up some pretty epic items in a big jackpot toy haul. And a lot of you thought that it would be a good idea for me to show some of the prices for the items that have sold so far over the last week or so over on Rogue 5 Toys. And there have been some epic items, as you can tell just by this thumbnail. So I hid the names of the innocent so nobody would get in trouble with their better halves. But I wanted to show you a few of the items that have sold. There's still some items for sale, and I think I've got a couple of them in here. And I think starting this week, Chris W. is going to start listing some mocks for sale, mint on cards, and he's going to go through the rest of the vehicles that are for sale. He's less than halfway through all of the items that he picked up in the haul that are going to be resold on Facebook in the Rogue 5 Toys. And make sure to go into the description. If you're not a member of Rogue 5 Toys, make sure to join, because there's going to be some pretty epic mint on card items, sealed vehicles, loose graded, all kinds of good stuff. And they're all very fair prices. So I wanted to go ahead and just show you a few of the items. So again, I tried to hide as best I could claims and things like that. But the first one is, we're going to start off kind of more innocent and very quickly escalate to some pretty incredible items, but not in any particular order. But I did start off with kind of a smaller one. That's the dark brown hair Luke Skywalker Farm Boy. This one was in very good plus condition, and it was listed for $130 shipped. As you can tell, it's got that very dark brown hair. Just a beautiful example. I had some hair rubbed to it, but it was only $130 shipped. It was claimed almost immediately within about 10 seconds. So that one is a really good pickup, I feel like, just given what some of these can go for loose graded. So good pickup there. Next up was the 12-inch line IG-88. He had the full run of the 12-inch line figures that were all picked up and sold, but this one is the harder to find IG-88, and it was I call it near mint minus condition. It did have some kind of melt marks on the bandolier, which is a common defect for the IG-88 12-inch figure. That one was listed for $735 shipped, and that one was also like claimed almost immediately. These can go for over $800 loose complete on eBay, so I thought that price was pretty fair. Next up, we've got a pretty big one here. This one was a the 12 action figure display header. So this was one of the early display headers that was available at point of sale purchase displays when the 12 backs were coming out. This was graded AFA 85, and it was listed for $2,500, and it was claimed fairly quickly as well. But an AFA 85 12 back header, and that's a pretty amazing item. That there was one that sold for about that same price on Hakes, and it was a very fair price just relative to one that sold a while ago on Hake. So AFA 85 on that one. Next up was another display header. This was a Shelf Talker CAS 85 Plus. So Star Wars Toy Center kind of shelf talkers. So these would kind of be inserted onto shelves at point of sale displays. That one sold for $1,600 shipped in the U.S. Next up, we had a Red Bar R5. We know how expensive those can be. This one was graded AFA 75 Plus, brand new case style, slight yellowing to the sticker, which is why I got the 75 Plus. That one was listed for $755. There was another one that was, I believe, an AFA or CAS 50 or 60 that was sold for $450, which I thought was also a really good deal, just given that those can go for about that same price, loose and ungraded, on eBay, as we've seen in past market updates. So $755 for that one. That was an AFA 75 Plus, and I think the other one was a CAS 50 that sold for about $450. Next up, this was a pretty incredible item, and one I had never actually seen before, and this was the Pallettoy Droid Factory. It was open, but complete with all of the parts, and that one sold for $425 US shipped. Box was in good condition. All flaps are present. Comes with insert and paperwork. Pretty sure the set is 100% complete. So pretty incredible item, and that box art alone I think was worth that price point. $425 shipped on that one. Next up was the Pallettoy Clipper INT4 Interceptor mini rig. This one was graded uncirculated 80. That one sold for $335, so another pretty good price point there. And there were a number of different mini rigs, both graded and ungraded and sealed, things like that, that have all sold. But this one was the Palletoy Clipper example that was sold, as part of the Dutch market. Next up was the Indoor Forest Ranger. This one was sealed. This one was not graded, but it looked to be in really fantastic condition. Tri-logo on that one. That one sold for $335 shipped in the U.S. So that's a pretty amazing box, though. That box would look to be in really great shape overall, probably in 80 grade condition. Next up, what a heater. This was the Meccano ATST Skywalker vehicle graded AFA 85. And that one was listed for $1,000. And, again, that was a pretty epic item. Not often you see one in such a high grade there. I've only seen one other one that has sold in the last year or so in an AFA 85. So that's a pretty awesome. Le Retour de Jedi, la guerre des étoiles. Pretty awesome item, though. $1,000 for an AFA 85. Next up, we got to talk about this one. This one was the radio-controlled sandcrawler. And, these loose, ungraded, just the vehicle itself, I've seen them sell as high as $900. This one included the box, which was in pretty great condition, as well as the insert. The pop on this one was removed, so keep that in mind. But it included an acrylic case, and it included the remote, instructions, and all that good stuff. And that one sold for $1,600, so another pretty good price point there. Now, mint and sealed box and graded, these can go for over $4,000 I've seen. So $1,600 was a pretty good price point on that one. Next up was the battle-damaged Imperial TIE Fighter. This one was complete with inserts, and the ship was in pretty flawless condition. And the stickers were applied on this one, but very clean. This is probably one of the cleanest examples I've seen for the battle-damaged Imperial TIE Fighter, and it was only $300 shipped. I thought that was a really great price, just given that this one seemed to be in pretty perfect condition. Next up was the Tatooine skiff. The box was opened in good shape. All flaps were present. The skiff was complete and fully functional, and it included the instructions. Acrylic case was included, and that one sold for $12.50. So another pretty interesting sales price there for an item that you don't see pop up that much for the Power of the Force Tatooine skiff. Wow, what an awesome item there. Next up, we got to dig into the Lily Letties. So as you guys probably remember from the live stream, this seller had a pretty amazing run of the Lily Letty card backs along with complete figures. And this is one of the more epic ones. This was Leia Bespin, which we know is very expensive just by herself. There was an AFA 80 example that sold from Jeff Jacobs on eBay for around $660 if memory serves. But this one included a near mint minus example of the Leia Bespin with the correct blaster and cape, along with the very tough to find card back. This card back is not easy to find, but these would be perfect examples of items to send into collector archive services to get those custom cases made where they loose grade the figure with the card back behind it. And I've got a few examples like that, but these were selling like hotcakes. There are still a few available on Rogue 5 Toys that have not sold yet. I believe the Wicket is still available. But this one sold for $13.50 shipped in the U.S. And as a reminder, Chris does build a box. So, if you want to start a box with Chris, you can claim items, pay for them as you go, and then at the end, he'll ship everything in one big box and then just charge you actual shipping. He does not charge you for the box or materials, packing materials, anything like that. So it's a really nice service that Chris offers. And so if you got a lot of money to spend and you want to start claiming and paying as you go, you won't have to pay shipping until at the end when he ships you one big box and it's just the actual cost of shipping. So pretty awesome there. But this one did sell for $13.50 or $13.25 Build-A-Box. Next up was the Lily Letty Emperor's Royal Guard. This is another pretty amazing item. The ERG was in fantastic condition. That one sold for $4.15 shipped in the U.S. or $400 added to a box. Here is the infamous removable hood Lily Letty Jawa. This one was graded AFA 70 with a brand new case style there. That one sold for $11.10 shipped in the U.S. That one did not last long. It sold within about 30 seconds of being listed. So a pretty good deal on that, just given that we've seen some higher grade examples sell anywhere from $1,500 to $1,800 on eBay. So I thought that price was very fair. Next up was probably the best in my opinion. Well, there's one more that's probably maybe a little bit better, but This one's a close number 2, and that is the Lily Letty Boba Fett with the card back. That card back is extremely difficult to find, and this one was the double scar variant for Boba Fett, which is a little bit harder to find. And the Boba Fett himself, I know I don't have any close-ups of this one for this video, but this Boba Fett was so mint. It was perfect. I would be shocked if it did not grade an 85 or 85 plus with AFA or CAS, but it included the card as well as the figure, and that one sold for $25.15, and that one sold literally in 10 seconds. It was a pretty incredible item. I know who bought that, and congratulations on that. Beautiful item. Next up was the Returno card back for Squid Head, and it included another epic condition Burgundy Cape Squid Head, Lily Letty, and this one was probably the cleanest Burgundy Cape Lily Letty I've ever seen. I personally own a CAS 85 plus, and it is nowhere near as nice a condition as this one was in. The collar on this one was very vibrant, dark red, and then it obviously had the Burgundy Cape as well. But this card back is where the heater is. I mean, this card back is so difficult to find. I think I've only seen one other example in the last 6 or 7 years where the actual Returno card back was available. And this one sold for $28.15 immediately. Here's a close-up of it so you can see just how clean that Squid Head was. And as you can see there, it's got the Returno card back. Look how clean that card back was. And the back was even more epic because this is the negative card back. Look how clean it is. I've never seen this in such incredible condition. So somebody got a really good deal on that, because I've seen just that card back alone go for over $2,200 before, based on what I could find online. But again, it was only maybe the second one I've seen. But Ombre Calamar is what it says in the name pill there. And that was just a perfect example of the Burgundy Cape Squid Head. So congratulations to the buyer on that one. Next up was that incredible AFA 85 Imperial Shuttle. Now, if you remember, on eBay, there was a CAS 85 Plus that sold for over $4,600. No, I'm sorry, it was $4,500 plus $350 shipping. So that was about $4,850. This one sold for $4,000 plus shipping to be at cost. So this was a pretty significant discount to a CAS 85 Plus that sold on eBay just a few weeks ago. So I thought that was a really fair price from Chris on that. But a pretty epic Imperial Shuttle AFA 85 mint and sealed box. And that one did not last long, surprisingly. It's just a pretty incredible example. Next up was that Indoor Chase Play Pack. We know how difficult this one was. And Chris was having trouble pricing this one, so he did a deal or no deal on this one. The other two, he had the other two that were that came. There was the Indoor Battle Pack with the Stormtroopers and the Ewoks. That one has not sold yet. That one's still available for sale. I think that the list price on that one is $13.60. There was a Wampa multi-pack with the Tauntaun and Han Solo and Luke Hoth. That one did sell, I think, also for $13.60. But this Indoor Chase Play Pack is probably the most desirable of the bunch. That one did sell in a deal or no deal situation for $2,000. So pretty awesome set there. And again, this is one that you do not see very often. Mint and sealed box, high grade. These have sold for as high as $8,000, believe it or not. And it was several years ago, but this one was loose, incomplete. So obviously the price point was quite a bit lower, but it was $2,000 was the best offer that was finally accepted on that one. So that one didn't last long. I posted this one, kind of a notice in my community tab on YouTube and said, hey, there's a deal or no deal going for this Indoor Chase Play Pack. And by the time I listed it, it had finally sold already. So it didn't take very long. But that was a pretty epic item. Next up, this one is still available for sale. It has not sold yet, but this is the JCPenney mail-away version of the die-cast TIE Fighter. This was a custom display from CAS, and so it's got the JCPenney box there, the mail-away box, along with the die-cast TIE Fighter and the catalog behind it. This one is graded CAS 80+. It is not sold yet, surprisingly. Just to grade this item, it's like $180 plus shipping to and from CAS. So you're probably talking at least $250 just to grade this. And this loose and ungraded can go for $450 or more on eBay. But I'm surprised it hasn't sold, and believe me, it's very tempting because I'd love to have it, but I just don't have the space for it. It's a pretty big item. But this one is $525 shipping worldwide at cost, and it is a graded CAS 80+. Also, this Awing Droids fighter, this one is a qualified grade CAS 75. This one's listed for $1,300 shipping worldwide at cost. It has not sold yet either, and I'm surprised by that one, just given that just the loose A-wing by itself, ungraded, can go for $450 or more. But this one is a qualified grade, meaning it's got unused contents. It has been opened, but it's unused contents inside. And again, it's graded CAS 75, so that's another item that's for sale. And there's other items for sale right now that have not been claimed yet. There's a few Lily Letty's complete figures with the card backs, and there's a number of other kind of random items that Chris has listed. But for the most part, I'd say about 90% of the items have been selling pretty much immediately, being claimed on the page. So just make sure to go and check out Rogue 5 Toys, because there are going to be some pretty epic mint-on cards that are going to be listed this week. I think there's close to 200 graded and ungraded mint-on cards that are going to be listed on Rogue 5 Toys this week. So again, in the video description is the link to the Facebook Rogue 5 Toys sales page. And again, if you don't have a Facebook account, or you don't like Facebook, but you want to create a burner account, you're probably not going to get in unless you reach out to either Chris W. or me to let me know that hey, I watch your channel. Please allow me to join the Facebook group. So if you send me an email, actionfiguregrader@gmail.com, before you try to submit your application into the group, then I'll go ahead and get you approved, because I'm, for some stupid reason, an admin for this group. But pretty awesome to see some of these items for sell on Facebook. And I don't usually cover Facebook sales because I don't want to kind of out people in terms of their spending. I don't want to name names or anything like that. It's just not fair to people's privacy. But in this case, I was given approval from Chris W. to show the items that have sold so far or are still for sale. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll be back soon.